So Donald Trump held a press conference again this morning, a Q&A for lack of a better term.
It was crazy.
And the idea of the Epstein files came up, and I'm very thankful that there were a few reporters in there that did do their due diligence and ask about it. And here's Donald Trump, once again, calling the Epstein files and this whole Epstein saga with the same guy who's been talking about it for years. His supporters have been talking about it for years, and here's Donald Trump calling it a hoax.
No, it's I call it the Epstein hoax. It takes a lot of time and effort. Instead of talking about the great achievements, we've had a great gentleman yesterday, as you know, went on CNBC and he made the statement that Trump may go down as the greatest president of all in the United States. And instead of talking about the things we've achieved, we've had tremendous achievement. They're wasting their time with a guy who obviously had some very serious problems, who died 3-4 years ago. I'd rather talk about the success we have with the economy, the best we've ever had, and all of the things we've done, including the Middle East. I mean, you see it. Instead, they want to talk about the Epstein hoax. And the sad part is it's people that are really doing the Democrats' work. They're stupid people.
He's calling his entire base stupid.
And didn't he say in his post, I don't need you to vote for me anymore?
Yeah. Am I wrong, Leonard? He's literally calling his entire base of supporters stupid because basically every single one of his supporters for years has been talking about the Epstein client list. He just called them all stupid.
Well, he's saying Bongino and he's saying Steve Bannon and all these people that are saying release the files, release the tapes. You said you had them. Steve Bannon said, if Trump doesn't change course on this, we could lose 40 seats in the House in 2026 in the midterms. That's how serious this is to the MAGA crowd.
Now, I'm going to be honest with you, Leonard. I agree with Donald Trump. Many in his base are very stupid. So we finally agree on something. But here's where it gets very interesting, because speaking of stupid, there are a lot of people in Trump's base who have been attacking Pam Bondi. Now, listen, I don't like Pam Bondi. She has no backbone. She wears the Donald Trump knee pads 24/7. I'm not here to defend Pam Bondi, but for the people out there that are attacking her, that are saying it's all on her, you're an idiot. This is all at the directive of Donald Trump. If you think Pam Bondi is doing this on her own, then you're an imbecile, okay? This is at Donald Trump's directive, and this is why today, once again, Donald Trump is defending Pam Bondi.
Talked about it with her the last week.
President, first of all, your high-ranking officials, whether it's been your FBI director or Pam Bondi, they have made some inconsistent statements in the past. You've had...
Well, I don't know. I can't speak about him, but I can say that Pam Bondi, I really think that she's done very good. She says, I gave you all the credible information. And if she finds any more credible information, she'll give that too. What more can she do than that? I mean, honestly, what more can she do? And we do have bigger problems. You know, we have problems with millions of illegal people that came in here, and they're killers and murderers. We have 11,888 murderers that were allowed into our country by Biden. Sleepy Joe Biden. Stupid Joe Biden.
He's talking about Joe Biden. The question was about the Epstein files. He's defending Pam Bondi. He says we have more bigger problems when he and his entire base have been talking about Epstein for years. And here's Donald Trump going on again about Epstein, and he's making the case now because Epstein is no longer alive, that Republicans are now being duped by Democrats because some of his MAGA, many in his MAGA base, most of them, are still talking about it.
Will you ask Attorney General Pam Bondi to release more documents to finally put this controversy to bed?
Yeah, whatever's credible, she can release. If a document is credible, if a document's there that is credible, she can release. I think it's good. But it's just a subject. He's dead. He's gone. And all it is the certain Republicans got duped by the Democrats, and they're following a Democrat playbook. And no different than Russia, and all the other hoaxes. They're started by the Democrats, and some Republicans, in this case I was surprised, but they got duped.
What is he talking
He's talking about his own Republicans that support him, that voted for his bill, getting duped by Democrats when he's the one who ran on the Jeffrey Epstein files.
And Pam Bondi promised to release the files.
Well, she was on the news, and on the news they said, do you have the list? And she says, what? It's on my desk. I'm just
You
getting
had
ready
these
to read it.
right-wing
and
idiots
that
with
morphed
the-
into I don't know where it is.
You had these right-wing idiots with the binders in Washington, D.C., step one, phase one of the... You had all of his supporters talking about this for years, and now he's saying that they've all been duped by Democrats. By the way, Donald Trump talked about it.
Well, they're saying they're not going to let it go. Many MAGAs have been interviewed, a lot of podcasters. Joe Rogan, he interviewed Kash Patel and said, there's video. You're telling me there's no video now? Is there? There's proof. There's a list. Now there's no list. That doesn't make any sense.
And if you haven't heard enough ridiculous audio from this press conference this morning, Donald Trump says we shouldn't be talking about the Epstein files anymore. What should we be talking about? Listen to this.
He doesn't have a policy. Some lunatic around the desk had a policy. Whoever operated the autopen had a policy, which is, by the way, I think the biggest scandal. That's the scandal they should be talking about, not Jeffrey Epstein. The scandal you should be talking about is the autopen, because I think it's the biggest scandal, one of them in American history. So the economy is doing really well.
Yeah.
And people are seeing it.
So we shouldn't be talking about the Epstein files anymore. We should be talking about the Joe Biden autopen.
Can I say something about James Comer so the listeners know? Yeah. So James Comer is in Congress, and he's the one investigating the autopen Biden saga, correct? So guess what? They found out that when he sent out his subpoenas and he's sending out information, guess what, Brian? Guess what they're signed by? James Comer, the investigator. They're signed by autopen.
Yeah,
they
autopen.
took PDF documents, they broke them down, and they found out that the signature was signed by autopen. I mean, can you get dumber than that? I don't know.
I don't think you can.
It's embarrassing, but they're not embarrassed. I don't get it.
I don't think you can. And as I mentioned before this press conference, in one of Donald Trump's Truth Social posts, he labeled the Epstein files as the Jeffrey Epstein hoax. He's blamed Democrats. He's attacked his past supporters, as he called it, for buying into the BS. It's kind of funny. It's pathetic. We kind of have to laugh at it. But when this news broke out, and as soon as Donald Trump put this tweet out on Truth Social, this is the way the CNN Washington reporter had to report on this tweet. And it's almost like a Saturday Night Live skit, only we're in real life, but this is the way CNN had to cover this.
The president accusing, on the one hand, Democrats of manufacturing this, saying that it's a Jeffrey Epstein hoax, but then going very harshly after those very Republicans who are his supporters and are calling for more transparency, saying that his past supporters have bought into what he calls BS. He uses the actual word. He calls it hook, line, and sinker. The president going on to say, let these weaklings continue forward and do the Democrats' work, concluding, I don't want their support anymore.
Of course he doesn't want their support anymore because he knows that.
And plus he doesn't plan on run again anyway.
Yeah, he called them all weaklings, by the way. Weaklings. So Laura Loomer,
MAGA is saying, Brian, I thought
Ben
it would be the
Shapiro,
economy.
Jack Posobiec, they're all weaklings.
I thought maybe it would be the men in masks deporting grandmothers and children.
Those are the weaklings.
I thought somebody in MAGA universe would say, wow, that's a bridge too far. And as it turns out, the thing that they won't back up on is the Jeffrey Epstein files, which I'm pretty sure he's trying to distance himself now, but it's well documented. His relationship with Jeffrey Epstein.
So the videos that have surfaced, and we've seen some of these videos before, and I thought MSNBC did a really good job of breaking it down. It's a party that Donald Trump had apparently at Mar-a-Lago. There were a lot of women at this party. And Donald Trump
calendar party?
Yeah, and Donald Trump is mingling with Jeffrey Epstein. This is the way MSNBC kind of broke down this party. Have a listen to this.
Of a Mar-a-Lago party shows Trump giving Epstein his personal attention. The footage, shot in November of 1992, before Trump opened the resort as a club, shows the future president surrounded by cheerleaders for the Buffalo Bills and Miami Dolphins, capturing Trump's fun-loving bachelor lifestyle for an appearance on Faith Daniels' NBC talk show.
We're going to get great ratings in your show.
Trump is surrounded by women as music blares in the background. After a while, Trump goes to greet 3 new guests, among them the financier Jeffrey Epstein.
Come on in. Go inside.
More than a decade before his guilty plea on state prostitution charges. Later in the footage, Trump is seen talking to Epstein and another man as women are dancing in front of them. Trump alternates between dancing and pointing out women to Epstein and the other man and telling Epstein about the cameras. Though exactly what they say is difficult to understand as they discuss the women and their appearances, Trump gestures to one and appears to say to Epstein, "Look at her back there. She's hot." And then Trump says something else into Epstein's ear that makes him double over with laughter.
There you go. But, there's nothing to see here. Can you imagine if Joe Biden, just for a moment, or Barack Obama, there was footage of them inviting Jeffrey Epstein into their home and talking to Jeffrey Epstein about how hot some of the women were at the party? This is stuff that we see on video. But there's nothing to see here, and I'm sure this has nothing to do with the fact that Donald Trump isn't releasing any of these files, and he doesn't want anybody to talk about it, and he's calling basically all of his supporters and the Epstein scandal BS.